Hey, Jacqueline, Matthew, how are you doing today?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm productive today, man. I've been busting a lot of things out. How about you guys? Have you been productive during today?
I've been pretty
Ja-
Not at all.
productive.
Not at all.
Matthew, yes. Jacqueline, no. Come on, Jacqueline.
I've been
I
like
don't have
productive
anything
on like
to do.
anything else other than like schoolwork. So, yeah.
I didn't even have school to do. I literally had nothing to do.
Really? I'm not giving enough homework in around here.
Well, now I have your class. Now I have homework.
We're going to be able to finish most of it in class today, but man, I got to step things up. Maybe I like increase the difficulty in here, or what should I do, guys? Any suggestions?
Less homework.
I don't give much. Come on. I'm probably one of the more reasonable teachers, relatively speaking. What do you guys think?
That's true.
Diana, what do you think?
You're way easier than all my other teachers. Like, it's very good.
Well, easier, or do I more like more less demanding in terms of homework load? What easier? Which one? There's a big difference.
It's kind of both of them. Just math is easy for me, and you don't put as much work as the rest of my teachers.
Well, as long as it's sufficient to get you guys to do the right thing and learn the concept, then we're good. If you guys aren't learning the concepts, then maybe I ought to change things. So what do you think? Got to think about that for a second. I like that. You go, well, it's good to see everybody. I'm glad you guys made it here. That is good. Go ahead and get your workbook out and get some extra graph paper out, because let me just tell you, there's just no way you can do all your work on that worksheet, as you're going to find out today. Each problem takes quite a bit of space to work through, and I'm going to select some of the workbook problems here, and we are going to set a goal to try to finish everything in class today. I'm hoping we are able to do that for the most part. Everything but just a couple, 2 or 3 problems in period 1. So I expect the same thing for you guys, because usually period 3 is pretty on it, and you guys participate really well. So I expect the same thing here. So let's set a goal to work well with each other, verbally and also in the chat, and really knock this section out of the park here. We're going to be talking about how to solve for the term, which is involving logs here. So you're going to need graph paper, your workbook. I'm going to be using Desmos only today, just because Desmos is free and accessible to everybody here today. Not everybody has a TI-84, although feel free to use it if that's your preference. Just make sure you're getting the same results as me and everybody else in the class when we go through the work. I'm going to be skipping some of the problems through the workbook. The ones that I skip, just go ahead and mark throughout the workbook. I'll indicate the ones that you have to do on your own when we're done. Like I said, I'm going to do quite a bit with you today, and it's an extension of what we did Thursday. By the way, if you haven't looked at your quizzes from Thursday, you should view your feedback. I graded all those. The people that submitted their work from Thursday did exceptionally well. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you better go watch the Thursday session, the class recording, and do your work, because it's important. You're going to see it pay off today. Test is not this week. Thursday is going to be, as I told you last week, section 9 is today. See, I gave the schedule out last week. The schedule is section 9 today, section 10 on Thursday, and then we'll have the chapter test next week. So make it in your calendar. And again, if you guys missed Thursday of last week, you better go back into Canvas and watch the recording, because not only did I go over a lot of log work, but we also quizzed on Thursday. And if you didn't participate on Thursday, you have a 0 or some bad grade in Canvas. So, and you don't want zeros, guys. You definitely don't want zeros. Okay. You want to be here, be with me, work with me. And those that have been working with me, and I swear to God, everybody that's working with me and participant in the chat and with me during class and submits on time are doing well. And it's amazing, you know, if you guys do the right thing, you guys can do extremely well. So we need to keep that up. I've been a little concerned on attendance, and that's why I'm putting the little quizzes at the end of class, like I'm going to today as well, based upon what we covered today, just to put the message out there that you guys need, spread the word. You guys need to attend class. I have not seen too many people be successful if they don't show up. And that goes for real life too. If you don't show up to a job, you lose your job. You don't show up to class, you're probably not going to do well. Every single senior that has a bad, let's say a bad attendance record is almost failing or failing. And that should make sense. If you don't show up and you don't do your assignments, you know, then, you know, forget it. Look, we have 26 people out of 36. So how many people are absent, guys? Who's listening to me right now? How many people are absent? Yeah, that's right, Kylie. Thank you. Okay, 36 minus 26 is 10. 10 people are absent. I had 10 people absent in the last class too. And you guys, this is terrible. 10 people. Now I expect 1 or 2, maybe 3. I know you're here, Michael. I can see you on the screen. Okay, well, I can see your name. And but I'm telling you guys, the people that are absent, the seniors, are just blowing it. And I hate to see that because you guys are seniors. Okay, I give you my best. I expect you to give me your best. Okay, and so let's do that. Let's have a good attitude. Let's work really well with each other here, and let's get started. Okay, get a red pen out. I'm going to put all the important stuff in red. We're going to annotate in red, and then we're going to do everything else in like a black or pencil or whatever. And get ready to participate. Open up another tab in Desmos. I'll do the same thing here too. So let me do that. So open up tab, type in desmos.com/scientific, and you're going to get this right here. Desmos.com/scientific. This is the one I'm going to use. Although feel free to use you know, TI-84, but just make sure that if you're getting the same results, because if you're not, then I can switch to the TI-84 and I can step it out on the TI-84 as well. I have that available. As you guys have seen, you know, almost every session here. So if you want me to step it out for some reason, if you're not getting the right steps, you just let me know and I can switch calculators, no problem. Because it's, you know, you have to learn the process and everything on paper, but you also have to learn the technology aspect of it too. Okay. You guys ready to rock here? Turn on your mic and let me hear it. Say ready to rock, man. Ready to rock, Aynesworth. Let me hear it. Kylie, come on. I expect that from you. Come on, let me hear it. I expect it from someone. Someone say something here.
Ready to rock.
I'm ready to rock.
I'm ready to rock.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Hey, John, before we start rocking here, Jonathan, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Much better.
Good. I'm glad to see you back. Stay with me, okay?
Okay.
And if you need anything at the end of the class, just stick around and I'll work with you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We're going to skip 1 and 2. All right. We're going to go to number 3. Here we go. Number 3 is an important one. And we're going to do all the work on separate graph paper. So make sure you have that off to the side. Oh, I forgot to say something here. Forgot to tell you what our goal is here. So this section is called finding the term of a single deposit investment. The term. So underline the word term. We're talking about the number of years. Okay. So in all of these problems, all of them, all of them, we're going to find t, okay, which is in the exponent, which requires logs. I'll underline the word single. Okay, single means non-periodic. Okay, that's in section 10, not 9. This is a single deposit account, so non-periodic. We talked about periodic investments. This is non-periodic. Okay, now to do this on every single question throughout section 9, we need the compounding interest formula. So let's write it down in big, bold, and red. Compounding interest formula, which you guys already know. Okay, so B is equal to P times 1 plus R divided by N raised to the NT power. Okay, now before we start using this here in number 3 and so on here, let's just talk about B and P. What does B stand for? Give me some simple vocabulary for B. And again, use your mics at any time if you want to speak up. It might be easier.
It's the
What's B?
balance.
Okay, what kind of balance? Present balance or future balance?
It's gonna be the present balance. Or after you do it. Yeah, I meant like after you, so it'd be like future, wouldn't it?
Yeah, future balance. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's what I
this is
meant.
so this is future balance. Okay, P is the principal or the present balance. It's important to know what's going on. So always define your variables. R is, of course, the interest rate. N is the number of time compounded. T is the number of years. Okay, so we're going to be using this formula here throughout section 9. So that's our main one. There's another one too that we're going to use. We'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, let me pick one in section or number 3 here. And I'm going to pick C. Okay, now, if you were here on Thursday of last week when I went over logs, this is going to all sound familiar because we're going to use all those techniques. Now, I'll do one of these, and then I'll assign a couple other ones for you guys to do later on. Like I want to pick a variety of key problems like I always do, go through with you guys in detail, and then I'll take you through the lesson. So let's write it down over here. So 9,800 is equal to 1,000 times 1.0025 raised to the 12t power. And we have to solve for t. It says solve for t here in the directions. Now we're going to do a couple things. Let's read the directions here together. It says solve for t in the following compound interest equations. Leave your answers in terms of the logarithm. We'll do that. And write this out and round, all right, to the nearest tenth. We're going to do both. I'm going to add to this. Okay, so, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to what we talked about on Thursday, and we are going to solve this with different bases and review all the all the process and all the things that we talked about on Thursday, just to make sure you guys are good. Okay, so here we go. Let's simplify here first. Let me enlarge this so you can see this better here. We got to simplify this, so let's divide by 1,000. Okay, before I do any log work here, I always simplify the equation. So it's 1,000 times this, and so we always divide to simplify. 1,000 divided by 1,000 is obviously 1. On the left-hand side, you can cancel out leading zeros. Okay, so I see 98 divided by 10. So that's the same thing as dividing both by 100, guys. And so you get 98 divided by 10. Or if you want to put down 9.8 right there, you can write it as a decimal. That's your choice. And that's equal to 1.0025 to the 12t power. And again, we're solving for t here. Now I'm going to ask you guys to help out because most of you guys were here on Thursday where we did all our log work. So if you have your notes on logs, please take them out from Thursday. We did everything on graph paper. So find those notes from Thursday. Take a moment and do that. They will really come in handy right now because everything we did on Thursday will be beneficial to you right now. So take a moment and get your notes, okay? Jonathan, were you here with us on Thursday? Okay, then go back and I suggest you watch the recording on it. It's in Canvas. Let me show you just real quick why those guys everybody's getting their notes. So in Canvas, you see where it says prep for 2.9 logarithm review. Okay, open that tab up right there in Canvas, and later on your own time, you could watch that class session, and that goes over all the log techniques.
Okay.
Okay, all right. That will really help you out. Okay, so here we go. So to do this, we can do it one of two ways. Okay, so we're gonna It doesn't matter which method we use. We can pick one of two bases. So we're going to do this both. We're going to do it two different ways. As I did this last Thursday in our class session here. We talked about how it didn't matter what base we use. We could use the base 10 called the common log, or we could use base E called the natural log. Okay, so let's use the common log first. Okay, write down common log. Okay, this is base 10. That's the log that you see on your calculators. When you see LOG on the TID4, hang in there, Getsy. Hang in there, Tiger. When you see the LOG on your calculator, that's base 10, common log, okay? Method number 2 is natural log, okay? And that is base E, as you guys should know, okay? So there's two ways to solve this equation. We're gonna do it both ways, just to review everything, because everything I talk about today has to do with these, the process here, how to do it. Okay, so here we go. On the left, we're gonna do base 10. So we're going to take the log of the both sides, okay? So log of your fraction here, 98/10. Or if you want to write down 9.8 as a decimal, that's the same thing. You got to take the log of both sides. So that's the log of the left side, and then you got to take the log of the right side, which is 1.0025 raised to the 12t power. So notice that I took the log of both sides. Okay, now if you need to look at your notes, be my guest, okay? But help me out right here. What do we do at this point? And everybody from Thursday should know, okay? What do we do? What's the log property that we want to use right now? You can speak up and just talk to me using your mics, it'd be great.
You can pull the 12t in of
Okay.
1 or 2.
There we go. So let's use the shift the exponent to the front of the log. That's using your exponent property. There we go, you guys. I see that in the chat too. Good. So we move the exponent to the front of the log. Very good. So shift exponent. It's one of those log properties. That's what we did on Thursday. We reviewed all these properties. Okay, so we have log of 98/10 on the left, okay? That's going to be equal to 12 times t times the log of this decimal, 1.0025. Okay, so you shift the exponent to the front of the log. It's a log property. Now t is what we want to solve for. We want to solve for the variable t. So if you remember here, we need to divide both sides by the 12 because we've got to cancel out the 12. We also have to cancel out the log. So I said just do it all in one step. So divide both sides by 12 log of 1.0025, okay? Now it looks like a gnarly number, but since we're using Desmos here in a minute, it's really easy to do. I mean, typing in these numbers in a calculator is a piece of cake. The only thing you have to do is understand the process. That's the key. Okay, so on the right side, the logs divide to 1. Anything divided by itself is 1, as you guys know. The 12s divide to 1. 12 divided by 12 is 1. And you get this variable t isolated. You guys were trained from the beginning when you were in Algebra 1 or before that, you try to isolate the variable. So you got to cancel out the other factors. Now on the right, or excuse me, on the left, you got all this crazy expression. So let's get the Desmos Scientific Calculator going here. Do what I just did right there. I minimized my screen and I put it next to my work. If you guys do that on your screen, you can see my screen on one side, do Desmos on the other side, and you could do both at the same time without missing anything. Hit the function button. When you do, select log, LOG, the common log. You enter in your fraction, 98 divided by 10. So you go back to the main menu, hit main, and you just type in 98 divided by 10. Or if you want to divide or write 9.8, you can do that too as well. You got to get out of the denominator there. So notice I just hit the right arrow key on Desmos. I close it off on the parentheses, so it looks identical to what you have on paper. That's the beauty about Desmos, is that if it doesn't look right, it isn't right. Just keep that in mind. And if you're using the TID4, if you're not getting what I'm getting, then tell me, and then I can shift to the TID4. Then you enter 12 log. Again, you hit function log, and then you enter your decimal in. You just type it in, 1.0025, okay? And you get about 76.17. If you round that to the nearest tenth, you get 76.2. So 76.2 years, all right, to make that happen. So that's how you do it with base 10. But as I was showing you guys on Thursday of last week, it doesn't matter what base you use. So I want to do the same thing here. I want to go with the natural log just to prove my point here, because I have some people here that missed Thursday. So let's do both methods here. Let's take the same equation, but this time let's take the natural log, and the natural log is abbreviated ln. Okay, on your calculator, there's 2 log buttons, ln for natural log, log for the common log. So notice the abbreviation here, natural log here, okay, of 98/10. We're going to take the natural log of both sides. And you're going to see here in a minute that it doesn't matter what base you use. We should get the same result. And if we don't, then we made a boo-boo somewhere. Okay, somewhere. Okay, so notice that on the right-hand side, the method 2, I take the natural log of both sides. Again, I put it side by side because the process is the same. Okay, you want to shift the exponent now, you guys. So shift the exponent to the front. Just make a little note right there. Okay, and then you get the natural log of this fraction 98/10 is equal to 12t times this natural log of 1.0025. So you see that no matter what base you use, on the left is common log base 10, on the right is the natural log base e. The process is entirely the same. So when you guys do your problem solving in the rest of the section, just use the same process and you pick whatever base you want. If you want to use common log all the time, go for it. If you want to use natural log, you can do that too. It doesn't matter. Okay, we got to solve for t. Now t is being multiplied by the 12 and the log. So you got to divide by both. Divide by the 12, but also divide by the natural log on both sides, okay? Whatever you do on one side, of course, you got to do it to the other side to stay balanced. You guys know that in basic equation solving. So let's go back to Desmos when we're ready here, and let's type this in, and hopefully we get the same. So you guys do it too. It takes practice getting good at Desmos and getting good at the TID4. So I don't care what you guys are using, but just don't sit there and take notes. Interact with me and make sure you're using something here. Okay, so hit function and use ln for natural log, and then type in the same values here. Go back to the main menu and take 98 divided by 10. Get out of the denominator and close out the parentheses in Desmos. The same thing too with probably the TID4. And then you divide it by the 12 natural log of the 1.0025, and you'll notice that the values are the same. So you see on the screen, guys, that it doesn't matter whether you use the natural log or the common log, you're going to get 76.2 years no matter what. Okay, talk to me here. Give me some kind of feedback here. Questions or something. I'm reading the screen here as well as the chat. I'm just checking in with you guys. How we doing? Especially for the people that missed Thursday for whatever reason. Okay. All right. So like I said, I'm going to pick a few key problems here, and I'm going to ask you guys to do a few. So here, I want you go ahead and highlight A and D. You guys can do that on your own. So after class or something like that. So, because again, I'm only going to take probably an hour, hour 15 minutes with you guys, depending on how fast we go. Okay, so the other two are done just like that. Now you don't have to do both bases. Okay, you get to pick either base. So remember that. You could use the common log or the natural log when you problem solve. Okay, number 4, let's make a little note here, write down skip here. We're gonna skip 4. We're gonna go to the next page. Okay, so number 5, we're gonna skip. And we're going to do number 6 and 7. So we're going to do these. Okay, so like I said, I need to pick some key problems that kind of illustrate all the different things that you have to get good at. So this is a word problem. So you got to set it up here. Okay, so let's get out our red pens and annotate like we normally do. So we have Shannon in this case wants to start saving for her retirement, which is always a good thing to do. Her goal is to save this much money. If she deposits 250,000, there's your beginning balance right there, or your principal, or your present balance. Your future balance that she wants is B, it's 350,000. So notice how I label in the problem what's going on. She wants 350,000 in the future if she invests 250,000. So P, the principal or the present value is 250,000. The future value is 350,000 already. The interest rate is compounded monthly, and R here, R is equal to 2.04%. You guys go to the chat. Kendall, no, you don't have to do the ones we're skipping later, just the ones I highlighted. So the ones I say skip, I mean, I really skip, but the like 3A and D, you got to do those. Those are mandatory. Does that make sense, you guys? I don't mean just skip just temporarily for a few minutes during lesson. I'm talking like you can just flat out skip them. Okay. So going back to number 6. Here we go. So what's R? Go to the chat. What's R as a decimal? Help me out. Who is with me out there? Especially the people that don't have your videos on, guys. You better participate. Okay. That's correct, David. Just take off the percent sign. Okay, so here we go. 0.0204 as a decimal. Good. Compounded monthly. You better highlight those words right there. Compounded monthly. What's N equal to for monthly? Give you a big hint. How many months per year, guys? Okay, so when it says compounded monthly, N is equal to 12 because there's 12 months per year. We're compounding 12 times. And then it says right here, it says how long will it take? Well, right there, that tells me that I'm looking for T, number of years. How many years will it take her money to grow to 350,000? Basically $100,000 worth of interest. How long will that take? Okay, so here we go. Let's go to the side and let's work it out. So remember, you're dealing with a single investment and you're using this formula every time. This is compounding. This is your compounding formula. For a single investment. Single, not periodic, okay? She puts the money in the bank and then she doesn't touch it. She doesn't add any more to it. It's a single deposit investment. The one that's periodic is way more complicated than that. Okay, so let's get started. Here we go. So let's, we want the future value to be 350,000. We start with 250,000. So the present value is 250,000. The future, what we want in the future is 350,000. We got to multiply that by 1 plus R divided by N. So 0.0204 divided by 12 because there's 12 months per year. And then we got to raise that to some power. You guys help me out with the power. What do we raise it to? This is important right here. Very good, you guys. Okay, so the power is 12t, n times t. N is 12 because there's 12 months. Okay, so here we go. Let's simplify a little bit. This is where I'm going to get you guys involved. Give me a suggestion. What would you guys do first to simplify it? Use your notes from Thursday and use the one we just did just a minute ago. Give me some suggestions. Not subtract. Pick a different operation. There we go. So it's times. Okay, so it's times right here. So we have to do the inverse of multiplying, which is called division. Okay, divide. Okay, let's simplify. Boom, boom. That becomes 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. Now on the left side, look, we got these big numbers here, guys. And let me just give you a little number trick. Look on the screen here. When you have two numbers that you're dividing, a fraction, if you will, and they end in zeros, then you can cancel out leading zeros, 1 for 1. Look at this. That fraction becomes 35 over 25. You cancel out leading zeros. Okay, and so what I get, it's just a little bit easier to deal with. Entering this fraction in 35/25 on the calculator is a whole lot easier dealing with those 6-digit numbers. Okay, it's just a little simplifying trick there. And this is equal to 1 plus this fraction, 0.0204 divided by 12, raised to the 12t power. So it's looking good. Give me a suggestion here. What do we do now? Use your notes. What do we do to the equation?
Would we convert it to log terms?
Okay, I'll go with that, Kylie. So what log do you want to use?
Log, normal one, base 10.
Okay, the common log. Okay, so she chose the common log. That's your choice. Let's go with it. Okay, so here we go. Let's take the common log of both sides. It doesn't matter which log you use. Base 10 or base E, the natural log, it doesn't matter. You're going to get the same results. So when you do your homework, you get to choose. Okay, so we take the log of both sides. That's great. Now we get to use the log property. So which log property do we want to use? What do we want to do now? Because now we have log form here.
Move the exponent to the front of the log.
Okay, so let's do it. So let's put it in the front of the log. That's a property of logs. Not making that up. That's a real mathematical property. Okay, so we're going to put the 12t in front. So 12t times the log of 1 plus this decimal. Now remember, we're trying to solve for t. Trying to solve for t. Now what? Not sure what you mean, Jonathan. Are you talking about inside the parentheses there? Okay, but I don't know what 0.0204 divided by 12 is. So I'm gonna leave it as is. So we don't have to combine the 1 with a decimal there. So what else can we do, you guys?
Divide it by 12 log 1 parentheses 1 plus. Then
Yeah, all that entire thing. Because we got to cancel out the 12 and we got to cancel out the log. So even though this expression is complicated, you just go with the flow and you divide both sides by the same number. Because whatever you do to one side, you have to do the same thing to the other side. And even though it's complicated, don't worry about it because we have a friend, it's called Desmos, okay? Or the TI-84, whatever you want to use. Remember, whenever you divide something by itself, you get 1. That's why you see these ones up here. 12 divided by 12 is 1. And then the right side becomes t. because t divided by t is obviously t divided by, can't speak right now. T times 1 is t. Okay, now that left side, that's complicated. We're gonna need Desmos to get some help. Okay, so here we go. Let's use Desmos here. Go ahead and work ahead of me, and I'm gonna have you guys put your answers in the chat. So you guys do it first. Don't be intimidated by this expression. I'm doing it right in front of you on Desmos. This is, for me, this is easier to use than the T84, although I can do it on the T84. Okay, let me catch up with you guys and see if I agree with the 16.5. So let me enter the log here. So log of this fraction, 35 divided by 25. Remember on Desmos, you got to hit the right arrow key to get out of the denominator before you use parentheses. Then you hit divided by, and then you type in 12 log 1 plus this decimal, 0.0204 divided by 12. And look at that, I get 16.5 as well. So I agree with you, 16.5 years. So in this problem here, Shannon in number 6, it'll take 16 and a half years to earn $100,000 interest from the bank. And by the way, that's not too long. Like if I did that right now and I retire in about 12 years, which is not too far away from 16 and a half, that would be a nice nest egg. If I put $250,000 into the bank, I end up with $350,000 roughly in 16 and a half years later. Not bad. And that's with only a single investment. If you kept on adding every month, like people normally do from their paychecks, like I do, I put a portion of my paycheck into the investments every month, it would be probably around $1 million instead of only 350,000. It'd be a lot higher. Okay. You guys speak up if we have questions here, okay? Just interrupt me and then speak away. Turn on your mic and speak up. Now I want to do number 7 as well, because number 7 is different. Okay, so let's do it down here. Okay, so here we go. Steve has 125,000 to invest. By the way, stop right there. Is 125,000 P principal or is it B future value? It says he has that to invest in the savings account. Boom, he's just going to put it in there. Is it B or P? Yes. Okay, so let's annotate. So this is principal. It pays 3.25%, so R is 0.0325. It's compounded quarterly. Ooh. Go to the chat, guys. How many quarters per year? There we go, and it's 4. See, I'm just doing what good mathematicians do. You write down what you know from the problem, okay? And then it says how many years will it take? That's T. Don't know what that is. So T equals question mark, okay? How many years? I don't know. How long will it take? Now, how long will it take to earn $15,000 worth of interest? Ooh. Well, if he wants to earn that much interest, what would the future value be? I need help right there, B. What would the future value be if he wants to earn $15,000 worth of interest? And he starts off with 125,000.
Would you add 15,000 to 125,000?
Let's ask the class that who likes that idea. You guys think she has a good idea? See there, Kylie, they're agreeing with you, right? Okay, so great idea. Let's do it. Okay, so 15,000 plus 125,000 equals 140,000. Okay, this is this is what we want in the future in order to make this right here $15,000 worth of interest. So now we know B. We know everything we need to know. So now we can start the problem. See, that's the first step of any problem solving is you got to read it, annotate it, and figure out what you know. Because if you don't know what you need to know, then you're kind of stuck. Okay, so here we go. We want $140,000 in the bank in the future. We start off with 125,000. So it's times 1 plus the interest rate, which is 0.0325, divided by something. Everybody look at the screen there. What do we divide it by? You guys tell me. Help me out set up the equation here. Thank you, guys. You've got to divide it by 4 because there's 4 quarters. Okay, so we divide that by 4 and we raise it to some power. I'm going to highlight that. This is a critical part of the problem here. What power do you raise it to? Guys in the chat are on it. Okay, so to the 4t power. Okay, very good. Now let's focus in on just the equation now. Okay, I need your help at this point. What do we do? How can we simplify this equation to make it a little bit easier to handle? Because we got 6-digit numbers up there and I don't want to deal with 6-digit numbers. There you go. There you go. Good idea. So let's divide by 125,000. Now on the left-hand side, remember what I said on the earlier problem? I said cancel out the leading zeros. Okay, and then what you get left over is it's just it's the same fraction, but it's dealing with 3-digit numbers versus 6-digit numbers. Okay, that's called simplifying the fraction right there. And that's equal to 1 plus 0.0325 divided by 4 raised to the 4t power. And remember, we're solving for t here. Okay, help me out some more. Let's talk process here. What do we do? I like that idea about the logs. We don't quote add them, Jonathan, but we do take the log of both sides. So you had the right idea about the logs. Okay. Usually we say take the log of both sides because the log is the function, but there's no addition here. Okay, but you had the right idea. So we take the log of the left side. We take the log of the right side. So Jonathan, you're catching on pretty fast for missing Thursday. Keep it up. Okay, now what, guys? Now we're in log form. There you go, Mia. Okay, so we're going to shift that exponent to the front of the log. I wish I was able to see you guys in person. That'd be kind of nice. I could walk around and do this with you guys and give you high fives during the time. That's usually what I would do. I get all excited to walk around and boom, lay a high five on you here and there when I see you guys participate and all that kind of stuff. That would be cool. When it happens next semester, you just get ready for it. I might come over next to your desk and say, give me a high five. Can you guys handle that? Can you dig it? Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. Let's rewrite the expression here. So log of 140 divided by 125 is equal to, again, I'm going to shift that exponent to the front of the log. That's a log property. And I get this right here. Now remember, we're solving for t, right? And we got to get t isolated. So to do that requires some division. I got to divide by 4 to cancel out the 4. I got to divide by the log to cancel out the log. So I have to divide by 2 things on both sides. So I'm modeling, by the way, how I expect you guys to do your homework, how I expect to do your quiz, everything. I'm doing everything that I expect you guys to be doing. Okay, I'm not skipping any steps at all. Okay, and then we get our variable here. We get t is equal to something. At this point, you want to, go ahead and use your calculator. So get your calculator of choice, TID4 at Desmos. Here we go. Go ahead and work ahead of me here. And go ahead, and when you're ready, you can go ahead and put your answer in the chat and let me know what you guys are coming up with here. Okay, so let me verify that. So hit function, log, go back to the main menu and type in your numbers, 140 divided by 125. On Desmos, you got to get out of the denominator. So you go right arrow key and then close out the parentheses, divided by 4 log, 1 plus 0.0325 divided by 4. So I agree with you guys. You guys said 3.5 years. I agree with you. So 3.5 years to make this investment. So in order to make $15,000, it's going to take 3.5 years, which is not bad. I mean, that's for just letting the money sit in the bank. You earn $15,000 over 3.5 years. That's not bad for doing nothing. Okay, let's pause here. Any questions? How's my period 3 doing? My awesome period 3. Even though you may be a little bit tired, right, Getsy? Hang in there, be strong, okay? Be strong, you're mighty, strong and mighty. I know what you're thinking. You're going, oh, Aynesworth's got too much energy, huh? It's okay, be honest with me. You guys think I'm weird? You guys don't think I'm weird? Damn, I gotta do something crazy then. I gotta think about that. I gotta work on that. Okay, I just read Kendall's and thank you. You guys are fun to work with. I enjoy what I do. That's kind of why you see me like this all the time. I enjoy what I do. Meaning working with you guys. Not talking about the mathematics right there. I'm talking about you guys. Okay, we're going to let me see. We're gonna skip this one here. We're gonna skip 8, if you don't mind. Let's see. And we're gonna do number 9 together because that's unique. That's something different than we haven't done something like that yet. And then at home, you guys are gonna do 10 and 11. So this is after class. Okay, this is on your own. So you guys do 10 and 11 on your own after class, and then I'm going to finish off with number 9 with you guys. Because if you read it here, guys, this one's different. Well, I'm hoping that, Jacqueline, you have more of that in your other classes too, I'm hoping. But I'm glad you feel that way. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's see here. Jasper, that's a unique name. So Jasper deposits $20,000 into account. Okay, there's your principal right here. That compounds interest continually. Ooh, you better underline the word continuously. That's what makes this problem different right here. The interest rate, it's right here, it's 0.034. 3.4% is 0.034. You just divide it by 100 and shift that decimal. And then it says here, it says to the nearest tenth of a year, how long will it take? Okay, T equals question mark. So T equals question mark, number of years. Don't know. How many years will it take to go from 20,000 to 30,500? So this right here, this is B. This is your future value. The only thing that we need to know that we haven't talked about yet today is the equation. So what's the compounding equation for compounding continuously? This word right here. Wow, that was a quick response, Mia. You are stellar in the chat today. So let's write that down, you guys. So here we go. So B is equal to P times E to the RT power. And someone asked me earlier if I'm going to put the recording of this session in Canvas. And the answer is always yes, I always do. If you go back into all the previous workbook sections where you guys submit your work, I put the class recordings in that section so that if you miss a day, you just go on that page in Canvas, you click on it, and there's the recording. So let's set it up. Here we go. So we want 30,500 in the future. We start off with 20,000 only, and you got to multiply it by e to the RT power. So 0.034 times t. Oh my goodness. So the word compounding continuously it tells you that you have to use a new equation, not the previous one that we used in the previous problems. We have to switch to this one because it's continuously. It's not monthly, quarterly, daily, hourly. Okay, it's continuously. That means every microsecond of the day. Okay, suggestions. This is where you guys come in. I can't do it all here. You guys are bright students, so what do you guys suggest to simplify it? I like that idea. Let's run with it. Okay, so let's divide by 20,000. Okay, and then again, cancel out leading zeros on the left-hand side. So I see 305 divided by 200 on the left. If you just simplify the fraction a little bit, and then is equal to e to the 0.034 t. Okay. Now what do you suggest?
I have a question.
Yes.
I remember from Algebra 2, honestly, it could be messed up, it's from 2 years ago, but we can't do log E, right? You would have to do the natural log.
Believe it or not, you can do either one, but most people would take the natural log of both sides here because it's base E. But Kylie, if you wanted to take the common log base 10, you could. I could do it both ways if you want. We're going to get the same answer. Most people, though, would take the natural log of both sides, though. So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to use the natural log or the common log? I mean, the previous ones, we took the common log. Do you guys want to change it up on this one and use the natural log? Just to change it up a little bit? Okay, so let's do natural log this time. But going back to her question, which was a good one here, can you take the common log? And the answer is yes. If you wanted to, you could, but you don't have to. Any base will work. Okay, now time to shift that exponent again. So let's shift the exponent in front of the natural log here. So we get the natural log of our fraction, 305 divided by 200 is equal to 0.034 t times the natural log of e. Okay, now let's pause for a second. Do you guys remember what the natural log of e is?
1.
Right. Okay, so let's just make a little note over here. Natural log of E is 1 because natural log is base E. And whenever you think about logs, you always start off with the base. And you ask yourself, what is the base to what power gives you the argument? So E to what power gives you E? And the answer has to be 1. Even if you type natural log of E in the calculator, it would spit back 1. Okay, it will tell you 1. So have that memorized. It's a good thing, a little fact to memorize. Not that you have to, but it's kind of nice, okay? So this is just 1. So because the natural log of E is 1, you don't have to divide by it. The only thing you need to divide by is the 0.034 to cancel out the decimal and to isolate your variable. So the decimals cancel to 1, giving you t here. So t is nothing more than the log of that fraction divided by 0.034. So kick in decimals right now, you guys. Go ahead and work on that. Put your answer in the chat. What is the natural log of that fraction divided by 0.034? Okay, so let me do it too. So ln for natural log of 305 divided by 200. And then I have to divide that by the decimal 0.034. And I agree with you again, 12.4 years. So it will take 12 and a half years roughly to go from 20,000 to 30,500. So that interest there would be 10,500. So you would earn $10,500 in 12 and a half years roughly if you put in the bank that compounded continuously at 3.4%. You would gain $10,500 if you did that. Okay. Questions up to this point? Okay, so after class, the only thing you have to do is 10, 11. And then at the first page, number 3, parts A and D. Simple. That should take you 10, 15 minutes. Okay. But I don't want you to do that. I want you to do that a little bit later. Right now, I have a little mini quiz for you, a little quiz-a-rooney that I need to get, and I need to publish and put in Canvas. So let me do that real quick because I forgot to do that during my lunchtime here. So let me do that as we speak because I don't see it right there. Okay, so give me a second here, guys. Let me bring over the little quiz here. Okay, go ahead and refresh your browser. Let me change the due date here, the due time, because this was for, I have multiple classes here that I work with. So let me change the time. It's due today at 3 p.m. It's only about a 15-minute quiz, 10, 15-minute quiz, guys, so it's pretty short. So we should be able to do it in class. Okay, so I changed the time. You guys do me a favor and click on this link right here and make sure it's accessible. So refresh your browser, make sure you have the correct document and click on this and you should see quiz 5 coming up. And it should look like this. So is anybody able to open that up? Okay, Alyssa, it worked for you. Anybody else? You guys got to refresh your browser and make sure you can access the link. Okay, so it's working for people. Very good. Okay, So if you'll notice that on the quiz here, let me just bring it back up again. It's just 2 questions. Obviously, you may use your notes, Desmos, TI-84, all that. So use your notes. It's from today's lesson and also Thursday. It's just a sample of it. Go ahead and do that first and then scan it. And this is the entire thing right here that you're looking at. So go ahead and screenshot if you have to, Michael, and then so you can see it. Go ahead and do this first. If you can't print it, then do it on paper, your own paper, of course. Make sure you write the question and the answer, not just the answer. And make sure you step it out in detail. It says in red, show setup and process. So make sure you do that. Should take you around 10 to 15 minutes max. And go ahead and scan it, get it uploaded. And I will get it graded tonight to give you feedback before Thursday when I see you. When we're done here, I'm going to upload section 10. That's our last and final section of the chapter. And that will be discussed on Thursday. I'll upload it here in a couple minutes when I'm done with you guys. And then the chapter test is next week. Because we'll do a review session where I'll put out a full review like I did last time. And then we'll take the test together next week. So section 10 on Thursday, test next week, and we're ready to rock and roll before Thanksgiving. Okay, any questions or needs before I give you guys time, because you have the rest of the period, which is you have an hour. See, so you have an hour. You should be able to finish the quiz and your homework and get both submitted. And you do that, oh my God, you'll be so proud of yourself.
I have a question on just which problems we're supposed to do.
Oh, okay. So let's go back to that. So on the classwork here in your student workbook, do 3A and D, the ones I highlighted there in blue, Matthew.
Okay, yeah.
And then skip the ones that I said skip. We did 6 and 7. You're skipping 8. We did 9. And then you do the last 2, 10, 11. So you have to do whopping 4 problems. Oh my God.
Okay, cool.
No problem. Okay, so there you go. So you got to do those. You should be able to take care of all of that before 2:30. And again, you do that, you'll be proud of yourself. I will give you guys feedback on Canvas because I grade everything pre-response and I annotate your quizzes. Make sure that you're looking at my feedback because you need to know what you did correctly and what you didn't. So you better be looking at your quizzes. Okay, I don't spend time grading them for nothing. Okay, so look at your quizzes. Any questions or needs before I give you guys time? Because you guys were pretty awesome today, but I want to make sure that you guys are good. Okay. Well, then listen, you guys were awesome today. I'm proud of you guys. You guys have a good day, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday in 2 days. You know how to get a hold of me if you need me. Okay? Good job today, guys. Leave me with a smile. See you guys.
Mr. Ainsworth, I just wanted to know, did you want us to submit the in-class questions that we did with the quiz or with the homework?
Oh, yeah. Well, let me go back to Canvas here. So let's take a look here. So looking at Canvas, okay, where it says 2.9 workbook, okay, go ahead and put your student workbook stuff in there. And then the last one where it says 2.9 quiz number 5, put your quiz in there.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything else, you guys? Talk to me.
Oh, Mr. Ainsworth,
Yes.
for my quiz, because it was my calculations that on the calculator that I did wrong, but I found my mistake. So do I just resubmit it?
Yeah, if you know how to fix it, then
Yeah.
go ahead and resubmit it. Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
You're talking about the one from last week on Thursday, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if you know what to do based upon my comments, go for it and just resubmit it, and I will see it up on Canvas and I'll take a look at it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good job today.
Mr. Ainsworth,
Yeah.
when can I retake the quiz that I missed? Or just take it?
Are you talking about last Thursday?
Yeah.
Well, when it's it's in the class recording. So you watch the class recording, and then at the end, you'll see the quiz. It's in the recording, and then just go ahead and do it on your own paper. Because
Okay.
the whole recording was just, it was a review. So we did it in our graph paper. And then just take it, submit the whole thing. I explained everything in the recording, and then just submit it like everybody else did, and then I'll grade it and I'll update your grade.
Okay. Wait. So one more question.
Yeah.
So the recording it's under 2-8 prep. Or two different-
No, it's right here. Look, see this one that I highlighted, the prep for 2.9.
2-9. Okay.
So if you, let me open it up and I'll show you. So you'll see the class recording in there. It says you will submit all your notes in the quiz during class. So you watch that, take notes, learn something. At the end, it's a little quiz, just submit everything. I'll take a look at it and then update you.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jonathan. Have a good day, buddy.
You too.
All right. Okay, Xavier, what do you need, bud? Okay, Michael, what do you need?
You said to see you after class on the one, was it Wednesday, Thursday? I don't remember the one where we had it was the first one. I think we had the quiz and then the like at the end. I don't
So
know
you
if
want to
it was
talk about
that
your
one.
quiz? Is that what you want to talk about?
You said to see you after class on it,
Okay, let me pull it up.
and I looked at it, or at least that's what I'm pretty sure it said. I looked at it and I got one of the things wrong in the quiz though, so I don't know if it was about that or not.
Okay, yeah, I
it
see
even
right.
says-
Okay, first of all, just by looking at it, you gotta do me a favor in the future, and you gotta spread out your work and make it a little bit more readable. Because
Okay.
you tend to pack it in there, and it's a little bit hard to read at times. So hang on, let me get something here. I have to get my own work here. Okay, so do you have your quiz with you? Did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like here,
79.21 is not correct. No.
yeah, so I don't know why you have log of 4. So let's, when you divided, okay, you see the 5,600? You see this part right here, 5,600 divided by 2,600, or excuse me, 5,200 divided by 2,600?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not 4, buddy. Now, go ahead and enter it on your calculator. What's 5,200 divided by 2,600?
Okay. So I'm making anything. So it was 5,200 divided by 2,600.
Yeah, what is that?
It's two.
Look at your
I
work.
wrote
right
it.
You even wrote 2 on it. I can't write on this right now, but do you see the number 2 up there?
Yeah.
And then down below it, you changed, you have natural log of 4, not the natural log of 2. So it should be the natural log of 2 divided by the decimal. So what you need to do is change that last problem and resubmit and fix it. And you can do it down here on the bottom in the open space. Okay?
Okay. With that, I would write. I would write. So natural log is that's ln, right?
Right.
Okay, so it'll be like ln, and then 2 equals ln e, and then it's the power of 0.175. T?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then go from there. And then correct your answer and everything. Just correct everything. And then after you do that, scan it and resubmit it, and I'll take a look at it.
Okay, and then so I had another question, but I forgot it. I'll probably just try and contact you later about it when I remember it. It had to do with natural log, but I think I can get through it.
Yeah, you can send me have you used Remind yet, like everybody else is using Remind or Canvas?
Yeah, I I kind of like need it because that's what I've been using to try and make sure I'm up to date and everything.
All right, well, just call me back if you need me and I'll work with you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Michael. See you soon. Okay, buddy?
See you. Thank you.
Okay, bud. See ya.